Section 4.2 talks about percents and algebra. So you may have done a lot of work with percents before. Now we're going to show you a way to do percents using algebra. Any way that you do percents is going to work. We want to show you a way using algebra because you're getting good at algebra, and this may be a way that works well for you. So let's review a little bit about percents. A percent is a fraction with 100 as the bottom number. So you know some of the common ones. You know what 1/2 is. If I said that something was half off, you would know that that was 50%. And then that symbol, the percent symbol, really means out of 100, so that means that 50% is really 50 out of 100. So you probably also know that a quarter is 25%, so 1/4 is 25%, and then that means that's 25 out of 100. So when you use the algebra approach to percents, you need to know how to convert between decimals and percents. So to convert a number that's in percent notation to decimal notation, you move the decimal point 2 places to the left, or divide by 100, which is what you're really doing. And then to go the other way, if you have a number written as a decimal and you want to make it into a percent, move the decimal 2 places to the right, or multiply by 100. So let's look at the converting a percent to a decimal. The problem that people have with this moving the decimal is sometimes they have trouble remembering how many places to move it. They definitely tend to have trouble remembering whether to move it to left or right. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you a little memory trick that a student just taught me a couple of days ago. So the problem is to remember which way to move the decimal. So if you remember that the percent symbol really means over 100, that's what the percent symbol really stands for, then it means that you can do the conversion. 12% becomes 12 out of 100 because the percent just turns into the over 100. And then if you know your fractions and decimals, 12 hundredths is written as 0.12. So you could either, on your calculator, you could do this division. So you could do 12 divided by 100 and your calculator would return 0.12. Or you can just use your knowledge of decimals to know that 12 hundredths is written 0.12. So that means if you look at the pattern going from here to here, that the decimal moved 2 places to the left. So converting from a percent to a decimal, divide by 100 or move to the left twice. So to convert a number into a percent from a decimal, we do the opposite. We multiply by 100 or move the decimal twice to the right. So multiply by 100, 0.63 becomes 63%, or just remember to move the decimal twice to the right. So if you start with a fraction that isn't out of 100, then make it into a decimal first. You can either do that on your calculator, 3 divided by 4, or some fractions you probably know the decimal equivalent. And then once you've got it in decimal form, then you use the other techniques to get to percent. So this is the memory aid that one of my students showed me. So in this little memory aid, D stands for decimal, P stands for percent. And the key thing is you write them in alphabetical order. So D is written before P down here. And then we have D2P, meaning decimal 2%. Or if you read it the other direction, so if you're going from a decimal to a percent, you move to the right, and you always move 2 places. On the other hand, if you're moving from a percent to a decimal, still move 2 places, but this time you move to the left. So that little memory aid might help you remember how to change percents into decimals and decimals into percents.